Hey everybody, Matt Cribbs here, and welcome back to another Wednesday morning drive. Happy New Year! It's the first Wednesday of 2017, and so I get to say Happy New Year, because it's the first time I've talked to you guys. It's been 2016 was one heck of a year. I'll just say that. There was a lot of things happened, and not all of it was great, but some of it was great, and whatever, it's done. We always take this time to look back and just, reflect on that. But now, that reflection is done, and it is time to look forward. It is a brand new year, and yes, I know, it's just some arbitrary spot that we choose to measure in time in, but it's the culturally significant new year, not the astrophysically significant new year. So, it is what it is. Had a great holidays. I apologize, I did not get an episode up last week with all the holidays, and my family in town, and the fact that me and the little ones, and the wifey, I suppose there's only one little one, and then one medium-sized one, and the wife, we were all sick. We all had fevers. Got up to 104 for some people. I was actually probably the least worst off, but that sucked. And yeah, I know, there's a lot of colds I talk about, but when you got a kid going to middle school and you got a baby, colds are kind of what happen. They're little germ magnets, so you do what you can do. But, had a great time. Had Christmas in there. Got, I tell you, oldest son cleaned up. His uncle got him some great stuff. The little one cleaned up. It was good. I had a great time just seeing everybody and hanging out with everyone. I got a new microphone, which should make this sound much, much better. It is actually a wireless lavalier mic, so I can use it. I'm using it for this, even though right now, the camera is right there. I wouldn't need wireless, but I can use it when I'm doing stuff in the workshop or the gate video. All of those haven't gone up yet. They require a bit more editing, but they're going to be going up soon, and so the sound on those will be much improved for future videos. So that's awesome. Really excited about that. And some other awesome stuff. Bluetooth speaker for my shower so I can listen to stuff, and a router. Whatever. You don't care about what I got. Or maybe you do. I can do a whole Christmas video. Whatever. The other cool thing that happened over the holidays was the McRibs clan went to go see Rogue One, and I know a lot of people saw it over a spread out amount of time, even among some of my friends who are true fans, because of when they do these releases at Christmas, I like to see them together with my family. So I actually waited a couple days to go see it, and it's killing me. I wanted to go see it opening night so bad, but I had promised we'd go see it, so I waited for my brother and dad to get here, and we all went and saw it, and I'm really glad. Actually, my dad didn't go. That's right. He stayed home with the baby. So hopefully he's seen it by now, because it was, in my opinion, the best Star Wars movie ever made. I seriously, I thought back and forth in my head whether it would bump off the current top one. And my list, if you need to know my list in order before Rogue One was Empire Strikes Back was the best. Then A New Hope. Then Return of the Jedi. Then Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens are kind of tied for third and fourth, so we'll put them tied for third and fourth. Then a long way down would be Revenge of the Sith, and then way down below that would be Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. And I don't know, amongst the two bottom ones, I don't know which one I dislike the most. And I'm really not interested in watching them enough to make a decision on that one. So we'll just put them tied solidly at the bottom. They were both real stinkers. All the prequels were stinkers, but whatever. So that was my ranking, and it was a long, tough decision whether Rogue One is better or as good as or slightly not as good as Empire Strikes Back. And I think we'll give it a little time. Right now, it is currently beating it, and that might be because it was new, or it may be, maybe it won't stand the test of time. Give it a couple more viewings, go see it a couple times in the theaters, rent it, and watch the crap out of it as much as I have the other ones. But we'll see. But right now, it's really, really close, and I think it's my favorite. So it is. Why? Why is it so good? Why did I like it so much? It is the Star Wars movie that I have wanted for decades, since the first Star Wars movies came out. The prequels were definitely not those Star Wars movies. They missed on so many notes. We don't have to go over that. They were what they were. The Force Awakens also did not hit for me. It was a meh movie. It was cool because it was new Star Wars, but overall it was just way too much of a rehash. It wasn't a tribute to A New Hope. It wasn't inspired by A New Hope. It wasn't, clever with it. It was an obnoxious rehash remake of A New Hope. And that, for me, just that killed it. Not to mention, it was the protagonist was way too powerful, except when she wasn't, and it didn't hit right. I didn't care about any of the characters. I didn't care about Han's death. I made a video about this. Go back, watch it. It missed for me. And so Rogue One hit on all the chords that everything else has missed on. And I think first let's talk about why. I loved the characters. Every single character in the movie, even though we don't know their backstories, we don't know all that much about them, but they were real. They seemed like real, genuine, interesting characters with the way they were written, the way they were acted. I want to know more about these characters. I want to know more about the Imperial pilot who defected. I want to know, what his process was. It was played so well. I want to know more about the crazy monk. I want to know more about the dude with the big gun. I want to know, and yes, they all have names. You know what? The names, they don't say them a lot in the movie, and we haven't lived with them long enough. So, whatever, I'm going to skip the names. I want to know more about the director in his awesome Thrawn-esque white uniform. The characters. Oh, and the two mains, the rebel and the tragic girl. Oh, she had such a hard life. But they were real, genuine characters that I cared about, even though I didn't know all that much about them. And the droid. Oh my gosh. See, PD3, whatever his name was. Yes, CGI character, but, mechanical is much easier to animate than biological. And so he was everything, I think, that Jar Jar was supposed to be. It was funny without being juvenile, and without being ridiculous. And just a great character. And when he bit it, oh my gosh. So, how do you get sad when a robot dies? But you do. So just great. The world building, this movie felt more like a galactic empire and more vast and expansive than I think any of the other movies, actually. Certainly more than the original trilogy. The original trilogy, while they set all the groundworks, I think were limited in budgets and special effects and the technology of the time, that they really couldn't give such a sense of how big the galaxy was. They did a great job given what they could do, but it didn't really have that all-expansive feel that, oh my gosh, this is a galaxy-wide struggle. The prequels, even though we saw more and things were more complex, I guess, they were all so fake. They didn't really fit. I guess Force Awakens did a fairly good job of making the universe seem bigger as well. So that was one part where it worked. It did seem like a bigger universe. But I think because we're not seeing it from the main story, the big heroic characters, everybody in this movie was a side character, really. So it just felt like a real breathing, dirty world. The stormtrooper with the doll, just like all these things just contributed to make it really feel fleshed out the universe. If the original ones were kind of the sketches and the set of this was like a behind the scenes look, and it made everything so much more real. And the action scenes tying it all together, and the mission they went on, and the tragic end just made it also just. It wasn't action for the sake of action. It wasn't gratuitous, and it didn't go. One of the things I really liked about it, and I think one of the things that I like this type of movie more than the main story. Oh my gosh, I just finger quoted. I'm going to blur that out or something, because finger quotes do not like. Anyway, the main storyline. It's just so big and grand and epic that you lose, I think, some of the humanity and some of the actual things you care about. And so having this movie that was more down to earth, about real struggling people and about, the not overwhelming power and the force and mysticism and grand universal plans, it was a better movie. I think, bigger things do better in books, and smaller stories do better in movies, because you have less time. You only have 2.5 hours, so it's hard to tell those bigger stories. So yeah, if you can't, I've said it. If you can't tell by the way I'm gushing, this movie just loved. So I'm going to go see it a bunch more times. Go see it again if you've already seen it. If you haven't seen it, definitely do. If you haven't seen it, yeah, spoilers, I just pretty much let it all out. So I hope you haven't been watching this. And come back after you've seen it. And hey, it was great. Feel free to discuss down in the comments. Let me know what you think about it. And have a great week. I will see you next week. Keep playing. Bye.